Testing, testing. Testing, testing. All right, Shalom Israel, Shalom Yahashim Yahshua Barakatam to the brothers, Shalom Yahweh Shemar Alatah Bashim Yahshua to the sisters. We at the ICPK Israelite School of Universal and Practical Knowledge started out at 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York, under Commander General Yohana, and we are not affiliated with any other Hebrew Israelite group. We teach that all so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans are God's chosen people. We are the true biblical Israelites that the Bible speaks of, and Esau, or as you know him as the white man, is the devil that the Bible speaks of. So today, we are, for anybody who's been tuning in consistently, we are finally getting past Exodus. We're going to be starting from Exodus chapter 40, verse 15 to Leviticus. We are now officially in Leviticus chapter 2, verse 9. If you haven't already, please like, share, and subscribe. 1 second. Okay. Here we go. All right, so with that being said, we're going to get started with prayers. As usual, for the prayers before we begin. Sisters, remember to have your heads covered when attending class and participating in the prayers. Brothers, remember to have your heads uncovered, right? So with that being said, it's going to be a medium, just me up here. Sha'ala, which means to or for Israel. All right, Amadyam upon Yahakwadam, which means to rise or stand and face the east. This is the Lord's Prayer in the Hebrew. Abanawa, Shabbat Shemayim, Kodash, Ayah, Shimka, Yahweh, Malakwathka, Taba'ah, Radazaka, Ayah, Aisha, Baradaza, Kawa, Ayah, Bashemayim, Vilanawa, Bakam, Kal, Yawam, Basalaknawa, Kabawathnawa, Kasalaknawa, Kabawathnawa, Wala'ah, Kabayanawa, Manasaiwan, Abal, Abshainawa, Mayan, Rai, Kaya, Laka, Hamalakwa, Wa'ala, Watapara, Wa'alumium, Amun. Now in the English. Our Father, which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Yahweh, thy kingdom come, thy will be done, in earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our debts as we forgive our debtors. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory, forever. So be it. Amen. Let's see. Hakak, which is the power in the Hebrew. Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Babakasha, Tamanawa, Akak, Raba'ah, Kamakala, Kamarwa, Akak, Latahar, Hamad Zariam, Akak, Laquayim, Amadim, Akak, Abakawath, Atama'ala, Bagarshun, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, the water, Aman. Now in the English. Yahweh, in the name of Yahushai, please give us the power to heal all manner of sickness and all manner of disease, the power to cleanse the lepers, the power to raise the dead, power against unclean spirits, to cast them out. In the name of Yahushai, thank you, so be it. This is bless Israel in the Hebrew. Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Barak Lanawa, Wayasha'ala, Waha, Bayah, Soparium, Barak, Bahaya. It's like Ba'ashem, Yahushai, the water, a month. What we just said was, Lord, in the name of Yahushai, bless us and Israel and the school in the name of Yahushai. Thank you, so be it. Psalms 121 in the Hebrew. Asha'ah, Ayinya, All, Ahoyim, Mayan, Yaba'ah, Azoya, Azoya, Ma'im, Yahweh, Aisha, Shemayim, Waradazah, Ayathan, Mawat, Wagorka, All Yanawam, Shamarka, Kana, La'ah, Yanawam, Wala'ah, Yashun, Shamar, Yasha'ala, Yahweh, Shamarka, Yahweh, Tazalka, Oyad, Yamika, Yawam, Hashamash, La'ah, Yakka, Wayarak, Belilah, Yahweh, Yashamarka, McCall, Rai, Yashamar, Athnapashka, Yahweh, Yashamar, Tazafka, Wa'aka, Maida, I will look. Now in the English, I will lift my eyes to the hills. From whence cometh my help? My help comes from the Lord, which made heaven and earth. He will not suffer thy foot to be moved. He that keepeth thee will not slumber. Behold, he that keepeth Israel shall neither slumber nor sleep. The Lord is thy keeper. The Lord is thy shade upon thy right hand. The sun shall not smite thee by day, nor the moon by night. The Lord shall preserve thee from all evil. He shall preserve thy soul. The Lord shall preserve thy going out and thy coming in, from this time forth and even forevermore. Psalms 83 in the Hebrew, Alahayim, Alday Melaka, Alta Karash, Alta Shakwat, Al Kayahana, Abu Yabika, Yahamaya 1, Ash, Al Imaka, Yar Yamwa, Savada, Waita, Yatazawa, Al Jazaponika, Amarwa, Lakawa, Manakakidim, Mugoya, Wala'a, Yazakar, Shomya Sha'ala, Abada, Kaya, Nawat Hazawa, Labat, Yakadwa, Al Yaka, Waryath, Yakarathwa, Ahoya, Alawam, Washer. Wa, Eshamai, Alayam, Mawa'aba, Walgoyim, Gabal, Wamawan, Wamalak, Alashaf, Amishabia, Tazawar, Gamashawar, Nalawa, Imam, Iawa, Zorawai, Labani Lawat, Salah, Aisha, Laham, Hamadim, Asaya, Sara'ah, Kayabin, Wanakal, Koyashwan, Tushamaba, Bayan, Dara, Hayawa, Daman, Ladama, Shaitamwa, Ada Yamawa, Kairab, Wazaba, Wazaba, Wakadzomana, Call, Nasiyakamwa, Ashar, Amarwa, Narusha, Lanawa, Af, Nawa, Alahayim, Alahaya, Shaitamwa, Kagogala, Kakwash, Lapunya, Raka'ah, Ka'ash, Kabaira, Yaira, Wakalhaba, Falahat, Ariyam, Kun, Tabadama, Masairaka, Obasa, Pafka, the Bahalam, Ala'ah, Panyahum, Palawan, Wayabakwashwa, Shimka, Yahweh, Yabashwa, Waya, Wahawa, Ayai, Waya, Kaparwa, Wayabadwa, Wayadawa, Kayata, Shimka, Yahweh, Labaka, Iwan, Alcohol, Abratiza. Psalms 83 in the English. Keep not thy silence, O God, hold not thy peace, and be not still, O God, for lo, thine enemies make atonement, and they that hate thee have lifted up the head. They have taken crafty counsel against thy people, and consulted against thy hidden. They have said, Come, and let us cut them off from being a nation, that the name of Israel may be no more remembrance. For they have consulted together with one consent. They are confederate against thee, the tabernacles of Edom, and the Ishmaelites, of Moab, and the Hagarenes, Gabal, and Ammon, and Amalek, the Philistines, with the inhabitants of Tyre. So also joined with them. They have opened the children of Lot, Salah. Do unto them as unto the Midianites, as to Sarah, as to Jabin, at the brook of the Son, which perished at Endor. They became as dung for the earth, made their almost like a red, and Isaiah, yea, all their princes, as Zabah, and as Almuna, who said, Let us take to ourselves the houses of God in possession. O my God, make them like a will, as stubble before the wind, as fire burneth the wood, and as the flames set the mountains on fire. So persecute them with thy tempest, and make them afraid with thy storm. Fill their faces with shame, that they may seek thy name, O Lord. Let them be confounded and troubled forever. Yea, let them be put to shame and perish, and that men may know that thou, whose name alone is Yahweh, art the most high of all the earth. The blessings in the Hebrew. Barakata Yahweh, Wa Yahweh Shai, Wa Miyaka Allah, Wa Lahayim, Marzabi'ah, Alawap Yahana, Alawapian, Hasarunyim, Hakarazayoyin, Hakayayoyin, Wa Hagwathian, Yahweh, Wa Hashem, Yahweh Shai, the water of Mun. Now in the English, bless you, Yahweh, and Yahweh Shai, and Michael, and the angels, the men of Johnny the generals, the captains, the officers, the troopers, and the sisters, Yahweh, in the name of Yahweh Shai. Thank you. So be it. Okay. You may be seated. All right. Shalom, Lord Christ. We got Priest and Officer Kordasha Allen in the building. If y'all already didn't know, Very, very resilient and very strong brother right there. I see you, Wap. All right, so we're going to be going over the book of Exodus, chapter 40, verse 15. Give me 1 second. To the book of Exodus, chapter 40, verse 21. As you already know, 7 verses, 49 verses in total, 7 verses in the Hebrew, and then we give the breakdown in the English. Okay, there we go. All right, 15 to 21. All right, book of Exodus, chapter 40, verse 15. Mashakath, a thumb, ba Bashar, Mashakath, Ath, Abahum, Waba Na'ab, Laya, Waya Tha'ah, Lahayath, Lahum, Mashakathum, Laba Hanath, I Laum, Ladarathum, Waya Aish, Masha'ah, Babal, Ashar, Tazayah, Yahweh, Athayah, Baaz, Aisha, Wahaya, Bakadash, Harashanya, Mashanya, Mashana'ah, Bashana, Salakia, Hashanyath, Akkad, Bakad, Lakwadash, or Lakadash, Hayakwam, Hashanath, Wayakwam, Masham, Ath, Hamashaba'an, Wayathun, Ath, Adanyan, Wayasham, Ath, Kwarashaya, Wayathun, Ath, Karakaya, Wayakwam, Ath, Imadya, Wayaparash, Ath, Halaho, I'll, Hamashaba'az, Wayasham, Ath, Batsa'ah, Hahol, Ilaya, Ma'ila'ah, Basha'ar, Tazia'ah, Wayahaya, Ath, Masha'ah, Wayakwa'ach, Wayathun, Ath, Ha'idath, All, Hara'an, Wayasham, Ath, Habadayam, I'll, Hara'an, Wayathun, Ath, Habaparath, I'll, Hara'an, Malama'ila'ah, last verse, Wayaba'ah, Ath, Hara'an, All, Hamashaba'an, Wayasham, Ath, Paraba'ath, Hamasun, Wayasun, I'll, Arun, Ha'aidayath, Bashar, Tazayah, Yahweh Ath, Masha'ah. All right. So the book of Exodus, chapter 40, verse 15 to 21 in the English. And thou shalt anoint them as thou didst anoint their father, that they may minister unto me in the priest office, for the anointing shall surely be an everlasting priesthood through their generations. So again, the anointing process, and again, showing how important the anointing process truly is. You really need to understand that this is meant for generations and generations and generations, right? It's not meant for just the one brother, right? That's why we always tell brothers, it ain't just about you. It's about you and your entire lineage. You're supposed to be the one to restart everything in a sense. They say, things start at home. And also it comes back to you again, going into reincarnation. Lord allow third, fourth generation, however the Lord chooses to do it. If He chooses to do it, you are now coming back, hopefully in a better position than what you were before. But it's because you think it might be your ancestor. It really was you who changed everything, if that makes sense, right? So we're going to keep going. Verse 16. Thus did Moses according to all that the Lord commanded him, so did he. Verse 17. And it came to pass in the first month of the second year, on the first day of the month, that the tabernacle was reared up. Verse 18. And Moses reared up the tabernacle and fastened the sockets and set up boards thereof. Let's see. And he spread abroad and Moses reared up the tabernacle and fastened his sockets and set up the boards thereof and put in the bars thereof and reared up his pillars. Verse 19, and he spread abroad the tent over the tabernacle and put the covering of the tent above upon it, as the Lord commanded Moses. Verse 20, and he took and put the testimony in the ark and set the staves of the ark and put the mercy seat above upon the ark. Last verse, and he brought the ark into the tabernacle and set up the veil of the covering and covered the ark of the testimony as the Lord commanded Moses. So again, Moses just, properly following instructions as he should, as we all should. Let's see. Second. All right. So now we're going to continue. This is the book of Exodus, chapter 40. We are now going to go 22 to 28. All right, book of Exodus, chapter 40, verse 22. Wayathan af hasha la ka'an ba bahol ma'ai il wa ra'an amasha ba'an tazapana makataza la para ba'ath wa I ra'an I la'an I run lakum lapunya Yahweh ba bashar taza'ah Yahweh Ath Masha'ah Wayasham Ath Hamana Ra'ah Bahol Ma'aid Nabak Hasha La Ka'an Il Wa'ara'an. Let's see. Hamasha Ba'an Nagaba'ah Waya Il Hana Ra'an Lapanya Yahweh Ba Bashar Taziya'ath Yahweh Ath Masha'ah Wayasham Ath Maza Ba'ach Hazahab Ba'al Ma'aid Lapunya let's see, Hapa Raba'ath Waya Kwa'ar Ila'an Kwa Pora'ath Samayath. Let's see, Kashar Tazayah Yahweh Ath Masha'ah. Last verse. Wayasham Ath Masun Hapathak Lamasha Ba'an. All right, this is the book of Exodus chapter 40, verse 22. And he put the table in the tent of the congregation upon the side of the tabernacle northward without the veil. Again, making the tabernacle the way that the Lord wants it. Verse 23, and he set the board in order upon it before the Lord, as the Lord had commanded Moses. Verse 24, and he put the candlestick in the tent of the congregation over against the tabernacle on the side of the tabernacle southward. Verse 25, and he lighted up the lamps before the Lord, as the Lord commanded Moses. And he put the golden altar in the tent of the congregation before the veil, and he burnt sweet incense thereon, as the Lord commanded Moses. And he set upon the hanging at the door of the tabernacle. All right. So I'm going to continue. This is Book of Exodus, chapter 40. I'm going to go 29 to 35. Okay. Book of Exodus, chapter 40, verse 29. Wa'ath mazaba'ak ha'ayala'ah shum hafak masha ba'an ahol maya waya'il ilaya af ha'ayala'ah wayaf hamanaka'a ha kashar haza'ah Yahweh af masha'ah wayashum af haba ya'ar mayaf all mayid wabayan hamazaba'ak wayathun shama mayum lara kataza waya no rara kataza. Let's see. Mamanya masha'a waya ra'an wabanya af ya ya da yada yum wa af ragala yum ba let's see babum all ahol ma'id ma'yid wabaka rabathum all ha hama zaba'a wara katazaya ha kashar tazaya Yahweh af masha'a wayakum af ha katazar ma bayam lama sha bayam wala ma za ba'ak wayathun af ma mazarun sha'ai hakatazar wala ba'or masha'a af hala hamala ba'a waya bas yeah. Ha'ai anya af ahol ma'id waya ba'id waya ba'd Yahweh mala'a atha hamasha ba'an. Last verse. Yala'a wabal masha'a labaya all ahol ma'id waya shaban ilaya ha'ainya wabayad Yahweh mala'a af hamasha ba'an. All right. Shalom on Christ. All right, so we're going to be going over the book of Exodus, chapter 40. This is verse 29 to 35 in the English. And he put the altar of burnt offering by the door of the tabernacle of the tent of the congregation and offered upon it in the burnt offering and the meat offering, as the Lord commanded Moses. And he set the laver between the tent of the congregation and the altar and put water there to wash it withal. I went over this like briefly last class. Anybody remember what a laver is? See if y'all remember. What's a laver? It's okay if you get the wrong answer. I just want to see if anybody remembers. What is a laver in the Bible? Nobody knows. Anybody remember what a laver is? It's okay if you don't know, just put something. What does anybody remember what a laver is in the Bible? We are going to continue until somebody answers it. Okay, you got me? And anybody. Even if it's a wrong answer, just what do you think it is? I'm gonna read it for you one more time. Let's see. Let's see. Verse 30, and he set the laver between the tent of the congregation and the altar and put water there to wash withal. What do y'all think that is? It's a huge hint in that verse. Nobody remembers. You could look it up. I know y'all on your phones. Y'all could look it up. It ain't cheating. A vessel? No, not a vessel. I see only one person answering. And I see like there's multiple people up in here. Don't be shy. It's class. You're kind of on the right track. Just think, what was in that verse? Verse 30. What's in there? He set the laver between the tent of the congregation and the altar. So he's setting something between the tent and the altar, and put water here to wash withal. What is that? Don't think too hard. It's pretty self-explanatory. Nobody knows. Somebody got to answer. What is a laver in the Bible? Nobody knows. No one's even willing to put an answer down. Anybody. Ain't no way. We got all these people in here. You mean to tell me one person is answering? Nobody knows what a laver is. Nobody. No one's willing to guess what a laver is. Okay. You know what? I'll take it. Yes, it's a large basin. A basin for everybody else. We only got one person answering. It's a wash bowl. That's all it is. A basin, in a sense, yes, it's a wash bowl. I went over this last class because it's a big wash bowl where you just wash things. However, this is not, there is no such thing as water baptism. There is none of that. You don't dunk somebody in some tap water and then think like their sins are washed away. No, it's just a wash bowl. That's all it is. You can read all throughout the Bible. Nowhere does it say get a big pot and dunk people in it to wash away their sins. You don't see that at all. That's what I was trying to get at. All right, so a basin, yes, that's pretty much what it is. All right, so we'll continue. I'm gonna get on y'all. Y'all better start answering these. All right, so verse 30, going back to that, Exodus chapter 40, verse 30, and he set the laver between the tent of the congregation and the altar and put water there, the water. Yeah, see, yeah, there we go. And the altar and put water there to wash withal, to wash with. That's all it is. Verse 31, and Moses and Aaron and his sons washed their hands and their feet thereat. So there you go. And they went into the tent of the congregation, and when they came near unto the altar, they washed as the Lord commanded Moses. Now, again, there's no such thing as water baptism. But from your somebody give me something. Why do you think Aaron and his sons washed themselves before they came into the congregation? Like just like what do you think that comes from? What is the practice of that? Before they entered into the congregation, this is Aaron and his sons, right? So this is, remember, Moses is speaking with the Most High, but Aaron is the one that is the minister of Israel at this time. So Aaron, oh, actually, I'm sorry, Moses and Aaron and his sons, they washed their hands and their feet thereat when they went to the tent of the congregation, and when they came near up unto the altar, they washed as the Lord commanded Moses. What do you think is the significance of them just washing themselves before entering the congregation? Why do you think it was custom to do that? Anybody got anything? And please, not just one person answer the questions in the class, because I see quite a bit of y'all up in here. What do you think the significance of that was? Let me give y'all a second. Because they would be handling holy vessels of the Lord. Okay, you're very close. Like you're okay, you're on the right track. Okay, for time's sake, it's not necessarily because they were handling the holy vessels, but more so they're entering the congregation. We are a very clean people that practices hygiene. So there's a little bit of a spirit behind them washing themselves before they enter into the temple, right? Now, would it be a sin? Like, okay, if I just got like a steak, egg, and cheese burrito and I ate it, and let's say I got, I don't know, like cheese on me or something, am I allowed to come into the congregation? Just a simple yes or no answer. Let me just see where your heads are. Come on, yes or no answer. If I eat a steak, egg, and cheese burrito, and I got cheese, whatever on me, right? Can I enter into the congregation? Anyone? Yes, I can. Am I unclean? No, I'm not unclean. I'm just a little dirty. That's all it is. But the significance behind this is when you enter into the congregation, you want to clean up yourself. That's kind of what it is. Like it's not a sin, but you don't want to like. It's like going anywhere else. Like if you're going to a cookout or like a family function or something, like somewhere nice in a sense. You want to look decent. That's all. It kind of reflects it's almost like a sign of respect to where you're going. If I go and I like, let's say, Lord forbid, I spill like bleach or something on my garment, like I got barbecue sauce, my son done threw up on me, and I didn't even bother to clean up, and I'm just walking in shalom on Christ. It's not a sin, but it's like, damn, bro, you couldn't like clean up a little bit, like you in the Lord's congregation. That's what that was. So they're showing respect to the congregation for the Most High by just cleaning up themselves. That's all it is. But they wouldn't be in sin if they just walked in. Though. It's just a respect thing. It's custom. That's all it is. So that being said, we'll continue. So this is chapter 40, verse 33. And he reared up the court around the round about the tabernacle and the altar, and set up the hanging of the court gate. So Moses finished the work. Then a cloud covered the tent of the congregation, and the glory of the Lord filled the tabernacle. Verse 35. And Moses was not able to enter into the tent of the congregation because the cloud abode thereon, and the glory of the Lord filled the tabernacle. Right? Let's see. That's like when people come to work dirty. Okay, so yeah, that's pretty much how it's like. Like, you don't want to show up to work and you just look a hot mess. Like, you don't. I mean, I wouldn't want anybody to walk around a hot mess, but it's like a sense of like professionalism. That's the word that I'm looking for. It's a sense of professionalism, right? You want to look decent, or you want to look your best, but you at least want to look decent when you're going somewhere. That's all it is. Which, again, it's kind of how our people are anyway. Like, you want to look, presentable in a sense, right? That's all that is. But again, you're not in sin if you just happen to walk it. You're only in sin if, of course, you're actually unclean, which we kind of went over. We'll probably get back into it. Maybe not this class, but we'll go into it now that we're going to be going to Leviticus. The different ways that you could be unclean. Of course, like intimacy with your partner. If you touch a dead animal, attending a funeral, touching an unclean animal. Like, let's just say hypothetically, you went somewhere and there's beef bacon. Like, there's beef bacon, there's turkey bacon. Let's say you went somewhere, you wanted turkey bacon, and you bit it and you ate it. You're like, wait a minute, this is pork bacon. Now, this is where some people get confused. You are not in sin per se because you didn't know that there was pork in there. However, you are unclean now, though. You shouldn't you shouldn't enter the congregation. Matter of fact, I want to see that precept real quick. Some people have questions on that. I believe it's Hebrews. Okay, there we go. So let me get that for you real quick. So this is Hebrews chapter 10, verse 26. So it says, "For if we sin willfully after that we have received the knowledge of the truth, there remaineth no more sacrifice of sins, but a certain fearful looking for of judgment and fiery indignation, indignation, Slakia, which shall devour the adversary." So what this means right here, right? If you sin willfully, let's say you legitimately did not know that eating pork was a sin, right? You come into the truth, you already didn't have like a bacon, egg, and cheese, right? You come in here, now we tell you, oh yeah, you shouldn't eat that. It's like, oh, I didn't know. And trust me, the Lord knows if you know. So the Lord might kind of give you like a little pass. Think about it like with your kids. You might have not told your kids like, hey, you shouldn't be jumping on the bed, but your kid jumps on the bed. Now you told them, hey, you shouldn't be jumping on the bed. Now they know, like, oh, mommy said don't do that, right? But then they do it anyway. Now it's like that tolerance is a lot lower because it's like, hold up, I already told you not to do that. You know you're not supposed to do it, but you're still doing it. Now you're being disrespectful. And they might get that little hand pop real quick. But it's because they already knew. Same concept with us. You didn't know, now you know. If you know, and this is where it comes right here, if we sin willfully, meaning you already know you're not supposed to be sleeping with heathens, you're not supposed to celebrate holidays, Halloween, birthdays, Thanksgiving, you're not supposed to get tattoos, stuff like that, right? But then you still do it, now we got a problem. Now the Lord might not give you that grace. And it says right here, after that we have received the knowledge of the truth, there remaineth no more sacrifice for sins. So just so you understand that. The reason why I'm bringing out that precept is I've seen it. I've seen it while I've been in the truth. These people are no longer here for a reason. Don't be that person that deliberately doesn't try to read the back of labels. I read labels on everything whenever I eat something or drink something. Don't be that person that deliberately tries not to read it because you suspect, oh, it might say pork gelatin in this. But as long as I don't look at the ingredients, I'm not in sin. Yes, you are. You ain't fooling nobody. You suspect that there's something in there, but it's like as long as I don't look. The reason why I'm saying is I've seen people do that who came in here before. They're no longer here for a reason because you could already see that they had that spirit on them. Shalom on Christ, sis. You already seen that they had that spirit on them. So don't be that person. Don't try to outsmart the Most High because you're gonna fail. And every single time, he wasn't born yesterday. Like, it's not gonna happen. If you suspect that you eating, I don't know, like what's something that got gelatin? Gummy bears. They got vegan gummy bears with like no gelatin, or they have bovine gelatin, which is beef, which is lawful. But what is it? The Habaros? The Habaro? Y'all know what I'm talking about. The gold pack of gummies, gummy bears. I know I used to eat those all the time when I was a kid. But I know that there is gelatin in it. If you walk up and you know most gummies have gelatin in it, you just like, well, as long as I don't look at the ingredients, don't do that. Like I'm here to tell you don't do that, right? Let's like it. But those will be examples of like unclean. If like you sinned but you didn't know, you might be unclean. But now it's, of course you have the knowledge. Don't do that now, right? That's all that means. That's why I wanted to bring that up, because don't be that person. Please. Please don't be that person. All right, so we're gonna continue. So we just ended what, 35? So we're gonna continue to look at Exodus chapter 40, verse 36. And we're gonna be going to Leviticus 1 and 6. So we're officially about to get out of Exodus, right? So with that being said, look at Exodus chapter 40, verse 36 in the Hebrew. Waba il layaf ha'inayan ma'il hamashaba'an yasa'aya banya weasha'ala ba'la masa'ay ya'am wa'am la'a wa'ilaya ha'ainya wala'a yasa'aya aid wayum wa'ilafya baya anya Yahweh al hamashaba'an wama wayaman ayash faha ya'a laya la'a anya la'ai yanya ba'o kayaf weasha'ala ba'o ma'ai, let's see, masa'ai ya'am. Let me see. Okay. All right, so now we are Leviticus 1 and 1. Waya kora'ah or masha'ah wayad wayadabar Yahweh aliyah mahal ma'aid la'amar the bar all manya la bunya waya sha'ala waya marath alahum adam baya wakwa ra ya'am banyam kwa ra baya laya Yahweh ma'an haba ma'an haba kwar ma wamanya hatazaya'a thakwa ra yaba'a af kwa ra banya ba'an aliyah kwa ra korabanya ma'an haba kwar zabar thamayam yakora banya or pathak ahor mayad yakora ab yakorab athayar laratazanya lapanya Yahweh wasa banya wadaya al ra'ash ha'ayal la'a wana rataza'a laya labar lab laba par alaya yashakat ath ba'an habakwar lapanya Yahweh wakara baya banya habra'an aran haba ath hadam wa zarakwa ath hadam al hamazakwa tabayam ashar pathak ahol ma'aid, last verse. Wapa shayat ath ha'ila'ah wanatha'ak atha lanathak ayah wanathanya Banya, Arun, Habayan Ash Al, Habaza, Hamazabaach, Wa'ai Rabia, Ikazayam Al, Ash. All right, that's it. All right, so this is the book of Exodus, chapter 36. Shalom on Christ. All right, Exodus chapter 40, verse 36. And when the cloud was taken upon from over the tabernacle, and the children of Israel went onward in all their journeys. But if the cloud were not taken up, that they journeyed not till the day that it was taken up. For the cloud of the Lord was upon the tabernacle by day, and fire was on it by night, in the sight of the house of Israel throughout all their journeys. All right, so now we are officially in the book of Leviticus, chapter 1, verse 1. And the Lord called unto Moses and spake unto him out of the tabernacle of the congregation, saying, Speak unto the children of Israel, and say unto them, If any man of you bring an offering to the Lord, he shall bring your offering of the cattle, even of the herd and of the flock. And if his offering be a burnt sacrifice of the herd, let him offer a male without blemish. He shall offer it of his own voluntary will at the door of the tabernacle of the congregation before the Lord. I went over this a little bit last class. Cain and Abel, again, when you give you should give your best unto the Lord, but the Lord can also tell when you don't. Now, we don't really do burnt offerings like that anymore because we abused it. Just being honest with you, we abused it. It was supposed to signify, us giving unto the Lord, and you can read all throughout there's a reason why we're at right now. Let's just put it like that. All right. So that's why we don't do it anymore. Just so if anybody had any questions of it, right? So, but again, when we were, it says, without blemish, meaning like it has to be the best. Also, key word right here, just so I can find it. He shall offer it of his own voluntary will at the door of the tabernacle of the congregation before the Lord, meaning what? It got to be in you, not on you. You have to want to serve the Lord. Like, it kind of takes away the genuineness of it. Like, for example, let's say somebody offended you, right? Let's say somebody offended you and somebody else had to tell them to say sorry to you versus they offended you, but then they sat down for a moment. Oh man, I really bothered that brother. I really bothered that sister. And they go to you of their own free will and they apologize. There's a difference in the way. If somebody got to tell you to say sorry, it's like, yeah, you said sorry, but like it don't hit the same. It's like you didn't really want to say sorry versus you taking it upon yourself to go and pull that brother aside or pull that sister aside and talk to them. Then it's like, okay, it's a little bit more genuine. You know what I'm saying? So this is like the same concept. You got to be willing to give unto the Lord willingly, because we say it all the time. When you come into the truth, ain't nobody gonna make you do anything. No one's gonna make you. No one is gonna hold a weapon to your head and say you're gonna serve the Lord. Like no one's gonna do that, right? It's not that type of place. Even though there are plenty of people outside the truth who try to make it seem like the ICBK is something like that. No, you can leave whenever you want. We are not gonna stop you. Just don't let the door hit you on the way out. That's all. And please leave peacefully, which a lot of people don't. You see it. Those who've been in the school long enough, y'all have seen it. There are plenty of brothers and sisters who have left the truth, and then it's like they gotta make this big scene on the internet. Now they want to start their own fake Israelite group and talk smack about the ISUPK or like gang up with other people to make fake posts. Like that's just shut up and just leave. Like just do that, right? No, you don't gotta be here. We're here because we want to be here. Brothers do classes because they want to do classes. We don't get paid for this. No one gets paid. No one gets paid to do shamar. No one gets paid to be a part of the internet department or the high holy day. Let's see, right? Don't let the door hit you on the way up. Don't let the door hit you where the good Lord split you. Nah, for real though. Don't announce yourself. You want to leave? The door is right there. Lord be with you. That's it. Trooper Shalom on Christ. That's cool. Like we don't need to hear all that. But again, willingly We are here willingly. You're here willingly. Y'all didn't have to wake up and attend Sabbath service online. Y'all didn't have to, but you chose to. Why? Because you love the Lord. That's why. Something as simple as that. You don't eat pork because you love the Lord. Ain't nobody stop. Like, if I see you pick up a piece of bacon, you think I'm about to fly over the table and be like, don't do that. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to look at you crazy, though. I might question you, like, hey, what you doing? What is that? You probably won't like, oh, it's beef bacon. You sure? Oh, okay. What's what? You know damn well it's pork. You going to eat it. That's cool. Don't touch me. That's all. Don't salute me after eating it. That's all I'm saying. Or don't bring that to the congregation, because then we might have to like exit you out. Because it's like, nah, you're not about to do that. But ain't gonna stop you. Ain't nobody gonna stop you from celebrating holidays. If you want to go celebrate your birthday in secrecy, okay, that's you. I'm not telling you to do it, but if you choose to do that, then well, that's your choice. Sidebar, you're not doing it in secrecy because the Lord sees you, because that angel that's above you sees you. But that's my whole point. Willfully, you gotta want to do this. Christ ain't have to do this stuff. Christ could have forsaken his duty and called a legion of angels down to smite those that opposed him. He could have did that. Could have. But he chose not to. Why? Because he knew he had a duty he had to fulfill. But he did it. He did it willfully, though. Just so everybody gets a concept of that, right? So let's continue. Let's see. Verse 4. And he shall put his hand upon the head of the burnt offering, and it shall be accepted for him to make atonement for him. Okay, this is kind of what I was going by earlier. We used to make these offerings for the Lord to atone for our sins, but again, we abused it. That's why we don't really do it no more. Like, would it, I mean, can you do it? I mean, you can, but what you really should be sacrificing is the desire of your flesh, because of your flesh there's no good thing. Paraphrase, right? Your flesh might tell you to do some wild stuff. All right. I don't know what you're into. I'm just saying, right? But you know deep down in your spirit, beyond your flesh, that ain't right. I shouldn't do that, or I shouldn't think like that, or I shouldn't be looking at this person like that. So you deny it. That's the sacrifice that you should make. Your sacrifice is the Day of Atonement, right? Which the Lord made for us. Now you can atone for your sins. You shouldn't be sinning, but let's say you made a mistake in the Lord, He ain't get rid of you yet. It's the Day of Atonement. Now here's your chance. Hey, deny yourself. Don't eat or drink water for 24 hours. Deny yourself, right? Just chill out. That's all that means, right? But again, it's not really a custom we follow anymore because we abused it. So we're going to continue. Verse 5. And he shall kill the bullock before the Lord, and the priest Aaron's sons shall bring the blood and sprinkle the blood upon the altar that is by the door of the tabernacle of the congregation. Last verse, and he shall flay the burnt offering and cut it into his pieces. All right, so we just finished that, so we're going to go to Leviticus 7. Oh, sorry, chapter 1, verse 7 to 13. Hey, what is that? For the sake of time, we're just going to continue the rest in the English, okay? So this is the book of Leviticus, chapter 1, verse 7 in the English. And the sons of Aaron the priest shall put fire upon the altar and lay the wood in order upon the fire. And the priest Aaron's sons shall lay the parts, the head and the fat, in order of the wood that is on the fire, which is upon the altar. Verse 9. But his inwards and his legs shall he wash in water, and the priest shall burn all on the altar to be a burnt sacrifice, an offering made by fire of sweet savor unto the Lord. Sidebar, anybody who's been attending like high holy days, we went over this a few times, like for high holy days, Sabbath as well. Because for those of you who don't know, Sabbath is a part of high holy days. It's holy unto the Lord and it's holy unto us. You can cook. You've heard us say it like 1,000 times, but fake Israelites will tell you that you cannot cook on the Sabbath. You keeping the Sabbath is you eating cold cuts or whatever. You can cook, all right? Don't, when they say, oh, you can't work. I didn't know cooking eggs was work, but all right, but you can do that. Just so we're aware, that's all. I'm not going to beat a dead horse on. Let's see, verse 10. And if his offering be of the flocks, namely of the sheep or of the goats for a burnt sacrifice, he shall bring it a male without blemish. He shall kill it on the side of the altar northward before the Lord, and the priest Aaron's son shall sprinkle his blood round about upon the altar. Verse 12, he shall cut it into his pieces with his head and his fat, and the priest shall lay them in order of the wood that is on the fire which is upon the altar. Verse 13, but he shall wash the inwards and the legs with water, and the priest shall bring it all and burn it upon the altar. It is a burnt sacrifice, an offering made by fire, of a sweet savor unto the Lord. Verse 14, and if the burnt sacrifice for his offering to the Lord be of fowls, then he shall bring his offering of turtle doves or of young pigeons. Verse 15, and the priest shall bring it unto the altar and wring off his neck and burn it in the altar. So these are just different offerings. And the blood thereof shall be wrung out on the side of the altar, and he shall pluck away his crop with his feathers, and cast it aside the altar of the east part by the place of the ashes. And he shall cleave it with the wings thereof, but shall not divide it into asunder. And the priest shall burn it upon the altar, upon the wood that is upon the fire. It is a burnt sacrifice. Yeah, it is a burnt sacrifice, an offering made by fire of a sweet savor unto the Lord. So now this is chapter 2. And when any will offer a meat offering unto the Lord, his offering shall be of fine flour, and he shall pour oil upon it, and put frankincense thereon. Fried food. You already get where this is going. I don't even feel like I need to explain that. It's fried food. Verse 2. And he shall bring it to Aaron's sons, the priest, and he shall take thereof his handful of the flour thereof, and of the oil thereof, and with all the frankincense thereof, and the priest shall burn the memorial of it upon the altar to be an offering made by fire of a sweet savor unto the Lord. Verse 3, and the remnants of the meat offering shall be Aaron's and his sons. It is a thing most holy of the offering of the Lord made by fire. Verse 4, and it shall bring an oblation of meat offering baking in the oven. It shall be unleavened cakes of fine flour mingled with oil, or unleavened wafers anointed with oil. Verse 5, and if their oblation be a meat offering baken in a pan, it shall be of fine flour unleavened mingled with oil. Verse 6, there, make sure I'm not going ahead too much. Okay. Let's see. Verse 6, thou shalt part it in pieces and pour oil thereon. It is a meat offering. Verse 7, and if thy oblation be a meat offering baken in the frying pan, it shall be made of fine flour with oil. And thou shalt bring the meat offering that is made of these things unto the Lord, and when it is presented unto the priest, he shall bring it onto the altar. Last verse. And the priest shall take from the meat offering a memorial thereof, and shall burn it upon the altar. It is an offering made by fire of a sweet savor unto the Lord. Okay, so we're reading, of course, these are just different ways that we made meat offerings unto the Lord. You've already heard me say it before. You're not wrong if you make like a meat offering or something like that, but it's not really going to mean anything anymore, because again, the whole significance of these were to want to show thanks to the Lord, of course, because it's funny now, we're officially out of Exodus, but we were exiting out of Egypt. These were ways that we presented our thanks to the Lord and to kind of atone for what we have done. However, as I've stated before, we no longer do this because it lost its meaning after a while. So again, now the way that you should sacrifice things for the Lord really is just be a decent person and follow the law. That's all you got to do. Your sacrifice is knowing that your family celebrates holidays and you don't. That's it. Your sacrifice is knowing that your friends smoke weed and you don't. Your sacrifice is knowing that your friends go out to the club and shake their behind and sleep with any man that they can get their hands on, and you don't. Deny yourself. That's sacrificing. You got to show it through action. Because think of it like this. Think of it as almost like a present. Somebody offended you, right? And some of us have probably like been through this in our lives. Like y'all ever have like you know that term like you outgrow people? You probably knew some people like, back in the day, y'all was real cool, like as kids, teenagers, yada yada, whatever, early adulthood. And let's just say hypothetically, if you have ever dealt with somebody like this person, like as you got older and that frontal lobe really started to develop, you started people like this person isn't as genuine as like you thought they were. They make slick comments about you, they try to undermine you a little bit, low key a little envious and jealous, right? And it's like anytime you do anything that's good for yourself, right? They feel the need to shade you, or offend you, or something, or they have a lack of respect for you, and they continuously do things to offend you. Now, let's just say hypothetically, you being a good person, you let it slide every once in a while, but after a while, it really got to you, and you felt comfortable enough to talk to who you might have thought was your friend and let them know, like, hey man, like I ain't really like why you do that, or like hey girl, can I talk to you real quick? And let's say seems like they heard you, right? But then they keep doing it. And instead of like saying sorry, or I'll say showing that they're sorry, let's just say they might get something for you. Like y'all ever have like parents like that? I know this is like sadly very common in a black household. Y'all ever had them parents who don't say sorry? They just like they know what they did was wrong. They might have took something a little too far, and then all of a sudden it's like, "Hey, you hungry? You want some? Oh, this food on the table." They won't say sorry though. Like they'll just do that. I don't know if you ever been through that. I know a lot of people who have been through that. I got some grandparents that are like that too. Won't say sorry, but you good? You need some food? Or like they'll just randomly come up, oh, I got you this shirt. But they're not really like changing their actions per se, right? It's kind of like a temporary fix. You might feel good in the moment, like, oh, they got me, blah, 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 blah. But they never changed. Think of that with the offerings to the Most High. Concert, giving things to make up for it. You get what okay, so you get what I'm talking about. Like it's not actually changing the situation. Like if somebody is continuously disrespecting you and you brought it to their attention, and instead of changing their ways, they just give you stuff, that's not really saying I'm sorry. Not with like their actions. You like y'all do know, okay, for time's sake, I'll just give it to you, right? The word repent in the Bible actually translates to sorry. If y'all get what I mean, repent. So when it says like, you repent for what you did, you're sorry. How are you really sorry though? You show it. Me saying sorry, those are words. You got to speak with it with actions. You might have been the type of person, you was a little too aggressive, right? And you put hands on people. Saying sorry and then putting your hands on people that you're not really sorry. Those are just words. There's no weight behind it because you're still partaking in the act, right? Maybe I'm gonna just say what it is, right? Everybody been in the world at some point. Let's say hypothetically you were the type of brother you don't really know boundaries, right? Let's say you was a little too friendly with certain people, women or whatever, right? And let's just I'm gonna give you some grace right now. Let's just say hypothetically you didn't know because here in the truth, I'll keep it real with you. We teach your brother's rib is not your friend. Y'all get what I'm talking about? Your brother's rib is not your friend. You are my brother. That is my sister. That's your woman. I'm not going to sit here and chop it up with your woman unless you are in the room. Like if all three of us are having a conversation, cool. But I'm not going to pull your woman aside and like, oh, this is my friend. That ain't my friend. No, her friend is her husband. I'm your brother. There's a big difference, right? But in the world, I know there are sometimes where people feel like, oh, like we're all friends. And you might be a little too friendly. Let's just say hypothetically, you didn't see anything wrong with that. But then let's say a brother comes up to you and you're like, he says, hey man, like you don't really need to be talking to my wife like that. Or like you was a little too flirtatious or something. If you're really his friend, You'll hear him out and you'll say, oh, my bad. And you'll respect his boundaries and his woman and you'll dial back. But let's say you don't do that. Oh, yeah, my bad. And you keep doing it. Guess what? You're not really sorry. There's no weight behind your words. Same thing with these offerings. That's why we don't do it no more. Sorries run out. We can say sorry all day. Sorries, they eventually, like, we've all met at least one person like that. They just say sorry for everything, but then keep messing up. And it's kind of like, all right, bro, I'm taking that with a grain of salt. Until you show me you're sorry, I'm really not going to believe you, right? And you should. That's called setting a boundary, all right? Respecting people's boundaries. We should respect the Lord's boundaries, right? Yeah, respect in class. You should have respect for one another because think of it like this. You don't want to be treated a certain way, right? I mean, I would think so. You don't want to be disrespected. You don't want anybody speaking to your rib a certain way. You don't want anybody, something small, like you take off your shoes when you go in somebody else's house, right? You don't want nobody else walking up in your crib. Your rib done vacuumed everything. You know, everything's cool. I forgot what it's called. I got like a little washer for my carpet and stuff. So it looks better now. My point being is, I don't want nobody walking up here with their little muddy shoes. It's kind of like, dang, like, you ain't gonna respect my household? Respect. That's what it all boils down to. Words mean nothing, right? If I may, ribs are invisible, and that's how it should be, right? But that's a good mindset. Why? Because that shows a certain level of respect that you have for everybody else. Because I know for a fact you wouldn't want anybody to treat you like that. So y'all get what I'm getting at, right? That's why I'm really harping on this because we're reading a lot about the burnt offerings and stuff, and I know some people have had questions in the past, like, well, why don't we? You know, it says it, but why don't we do that no more? That's why we abused it. We have continuously said sorry to the Lord and then continue to sin. Like we only in Leviticus. This is the third book, right? I showed y'all last week. I don't know if y'all can see it. So y'all see, I don't know if this is a good way. This is how much we've read since we have read from Genesis. You see that little sliver? This is how much is left. I hope you picking up what I'm putting down. There's a lot that happened. There's a lot of, some righteous brothers. There's some righteous sisters too. And there was a lot of sin that happened after that as well. So clearly we didn't learn our lesson. After the Lord continuously had grace with us, we said sorry, we made the offerings, we fasted, right? We've tried to amend for certain things, but then we always kind of fall off. It's always the same thing. So I think it's only fair that the Most High does get upset. That's why, like, a lot of brothers and sisters in the world, they kind of get upset. Like, why do y'all believe in the Bible? That was used to enslave our ancestors and stuff. It's like, nah. The white man took that and reworded it into something else. Because again, remember, there was a point that we weren't even allowed to read. Like, really think about that. Our native language was taken away from us, and then we had to learn English, which is a Germanic language, by the way, and then or Spanish or Portuguese, depending on where your ancestors got colonized, I guess you should say. So we had to learn a different language, their language, but then we had to learn how to read English, if that makes sense. So it's not that we were dumb, it's just that our education was taken away from us and we were brainwashed into something else. This is their language. So they already know how to read and write and do everything in their language. We didn't know. So of course they could feed us whatever they wanted. Remember, we weren't allowed to read. Think of it, we weren't allowed to read. You were killed for reading. But they gave you the Bible. Their version of the Bible, mind you. So of course, when you're not fully educated in the history, in today's world, a lot of brothers and sisters, I know a lot of northern tribe in like the Native American community, especially, or I should say, like I'll say the pro-black movements. They question like, why would y'all believe in the Bible? That was used to enslave our ancestors. Or if God, oh, this is my favorite one. If God was real, or if God loves all, or God would punish those that harmed us, why were our ancestors put in slavery? Why are we still in the state that we're in right now? Well, I'll tell you why. Because the Lord has rescued us quite a few times. And what did we do? We turned our backs. We got comfortable and we started doing whatever we wanted to do. We had a living God that we served, and these other nations had kings. So then what did the Lord do? He made Saul. He didn't make him because he thought, like, oh yeah, these are my children, they really deserve it. No, he made it to he made Saul to prove a point. Like, oh, y'all want a king? All right, I'm gonna give y'all the worst king. I'm gonna give y'all the worst one. Dude was egotistical, didn't want to listen to nobody. He turned his back on the Lord. There was a priest, I forgot his name. I think it might have been, no, it wasn't Nathaniel. That was with David, Salakia. Got my times mixed up. There was a priest that told him, like, hey, you need to slay all them Amalekites. If y'all don't believe, y'all don't know what I'm talking about, y'all can go read it, right? Slay all them Amalekites. And then what did Saul do? He said, nah, I'm gonna do what I want to do. And that's why he lost his kingdom, right? But we wanted a king. We wanted a king that bad. We want to do what everybody else wants to do. What we were given wasn't good enough. Because yes, the Most High is the God of Israel, but the Most High also rules over all. Think about it. He judged Egypt. And I'm not talking about when we were being taken up out of Egypt. I'll go back farther. Abraham and Sarah. Remember, Sarah was Abraham's wife, but he was lying, saying that that was his sister. And then she went into Pharaoh's house. Mind you, Pharaoh was not an Israelite. There actually are no Israelites that exist right now, right? This is before Jacob and Isaac. I don't even think his name was Abraham at that time. It was Abram still. So this is before he got his Hebrew name. When Sarah went in there, do y'all remember what happened? For time's sake, I'll give it to you. He cursed Pharaoh's house. The Most High cursed Pharaoh's house. Why? The Most High is still the Most High. He's like, there's about to be some adultery going on right now. We ain't having that. And then Pharaoh was like, whoa, hold up. You about to cause me to do something that I ain't have no business doing. Why didn't you just tell me that this was your wife? Man, take her and get the hell up out of my house, because you over here bringing a curse into my place now. That wasn't an Israelite, though. But he still judged them. Same way he judged them when we were being taken up out of Egypt. Same way he judged the Amalekites. Same way he judged Esau. Right? He was supposedly supposed to have the blessing, but he didn't get it. Why? Because the Lord knew that he ain't deserve it. It's the same dude who gave up his blessing for some food, for some deer meat. That's what he wanted. But then got mad after, like, oh, what? I'm a curse Jacob. Like, that's the type of spirit that we deal with right? He judged the Persians and the Medes. He judged Moab. You see my point? So this is who we're supposed to be serving, and we want to be like everybody else. Of course, the Most High has every right to be upset. The Most High could have offed us a long time ago, and me and you wouldn't even be having this conversation right now. He could have been restarted us, but he's still giving us a chance to, I'm gonna bring it back home for you, show that we are sorry. But how do you show that? By following the law, statutes, and commandments. Everything always comes in full circle back to serving God. It doesn't matter what lesson we teach about in the Bible, it always comes full circle, right? You want to show you sorry? Show it. With everything, not just with the Most High, but with your brother, with your sister, to your parents, to your uncle, your auntie, your kids, whatever, right? Show it. Don't just say it. You might get away with it once or twice, but eventually, like, we some very intuitive people, man. We can pick up when it's like, yeah, this dude kind of, he cool, but I ain't really messing with him like that. Or like, yeah, that's just a cool, but I see what kind of spirit she got. So we're just gonna keep it cordial. Right? We're supposed to come together. But that also means we have to take accountability for our actions, as well as hold other people accountable. You can be respectful about it, but hold other people accountable for their actions, right? That's a test within itself. If I offend somebody, even if I know that I didn't mean anything by it, if you tell me I offended you, my bad. Like, I might explain myself or whatever, but it's like, that's not my intention. Versus you tell me I offended you, and it's like, I don't care about what you say. Disrespectful. I don't want to be like that, right? But with that being said, that's what you can take away from this class, right? I know we read mostly about again, like building up the tabernacles and the offerings, if you will, but we can take that up out of this class, like, hey, this is what we were doing at the time. We don't do that anymore because of what we continue to do after, right? So forget all the offerings, like serve God, do that, right? But
with that being said, I'm gonna end the class. The water for everybody that participated. That took a little moment, but everybody started participating later on. I appreciate that. Remember, it's class, so we gonna talk, right? I don't want to just be hearing myself talk the entire time. I'm gonna ask you some questions. But with that being said, for water, if you haven't already, please like, share, and subscribe. We'll be back at it again next Saturday, right? Every Saturday, we're gonna be teaching Sabbath service. And with that, shalom.